Welcome to Networks Professionals.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm absolutely thrilled you're joining me for this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really massive opportunity in the tech space, the Databricks Certified Data Engineer Professional Exam. Look, if you're wanting to move past the basics and actually architect enterprise-grade solutions on literally one of the fastest-growing platforms on the planet, well, you are in exactly the right place. Let's get right into it. So, I gotta ask, are you ready to cash in on the big data boom? I mean, think about it for a second. Every single modern AI application, every predictive model, every real-time analytics dashboard we see today, they all rely on rock-solid data infrastructure. And organizations are just desperate for the architects who can actually build these systems. Earning this advanced level certification, it's not just about passing some test. It is a major career investment. It's the ultimate proof that you can design, build, and optimize real enterprise-grade solutions on the Databricks Lakehouse Platform. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's the blueprint we're going to break down today. We'll start with the data engineering boom, look at the actual anatomy of the exam, talk about mastering the core topics, map out a 4-phase execution roadmap, and finally, look at the career payoff. Kicking things off with Section 1, the data engineering boom, building the foundations of AI. Right now, major organizations are running these absolutely massive AI workloads across Azure, AWS, and Google Cloud. And frankly, they are drowning in raw data. They don't just need basic coders anymore. They're desperate for professionals who have mastered big data processing, people who can build resilient lakehouses and construct real-time data pipelines to actually feed those AI models. Mastering these exact high-demand skills, that makes you invaluable. Moving on to Section 2, Anatomy of the Exam, the investment. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer scale of the investment. You're looking at a rigorous, professional-level challenge. We're talking roughly 60 multiple-choice questions packed into 120 minutes of pure brain sweat. The entry fee sits at $200 US. The cert is valid for 2 years, and you can tackle it online or at a testing center. Honestly, it's a 2-hour marathon that demands absolute mastery. And that brings us to a very magic number, 42. See, Databricks doesn't actually publish an official passing score, but industry consensus tells us you need to hit about a 70% to pass. That means out of roughly 60 questions, you need to get exactly 42 of them right. And remember, we aren't talking about basic syntax questions here. These are complex, scenario-based problems. Literally every single answer matters. Which brings us to Section 3, Mastering the Core Topics, the challenge. Let's do a quick reality check. Databricks strongly recommends having at least 1 year of hands-on experience before taking this, because they test practical, production-level skills, not just beginner theory. And a massive part of that revolves around the medallion architecture. Think of it like a giant sorting facility for your data. The exam expects you to know exactly how to logically organize all this, ingesting raw data into the bronze layer, applying some really complex transformations to move it to silver, and finally optimizing it in the gold layer for ML models. It's all about creating a seamless, fault-tolerant flow between these layers. So the crucial point is how all of this balances out across the 5 core exam domains. Data processing is really your vital engine here, heavily testing your knowledge of Spark SQL and Delta Lake. Then data ingestion challenges your grasp of things like autoloader and structure of streaming. After that, you've got data governance handled via Unity Catalog, performance optimization for tuning those clusters when they're under heavy loads, and finally, workflows and security. You've got to be comfortable orchestrating that whole shebang. Let's shift gears to Section 4, the 4-phase roadmap, the execution. Knowing the domains is really only half the battle, right? Community feedback proves time and time again that structured hands-on practice is the absolute key to success. So here's your timeline. It's designed to be a slow, deliberate progression spread out over 20+ weeks. You're building up from foundational code, moving into complex platform-specific engineering before finally wrapping up with a super intensive mock exam phase. Let's move to and see how this builds step by step. Phase 1 is where you lock in your SQL, Python, and Apache Spark fundamentals. Then, Phase 2 immerses you completely in the Databricks environment. We're talking navigating workspaces, managing clusters, commanding Delta Lake. Phase 3, that's the crucible. Advanced streaming, Unity Catalog governance, and ruthless performance tuning. And finally, Phase 4. Listen, do not pay that $200 exam fee until you have taken rigorous mock exams and patched up your weak spots. That's where everything truly solidifies. And finally, Section 5, the career payoff, the ROI. Now, you might be wondering, why put yourself through months of such rigorous study? Well, because this validation translates to massive career growth, and this brilliantly illustrates your ROI. We are looking at highly lucrative top-end annual salaries across the globe for certified professionals. Upwards of $180,000 in the US, $150,000 in Canada, and over £100,000 in the UK. Databricks is a global standard now, and companies migrating to Lakehouse architectures are literally hunting for these validated skills. Ultimately, what this certification does is bridge a massive career gap. It takes those standard entry-level data engineering and analytics roles and just elevates them. By proving you can actually handle complex production-level environments, you're suddenly unlocking these highly sought-after senior positions like Crowd Data Platform Engineer or Enterprise Data Architect. It's a total game changer. So, as we look toward 2026 and beyond, the big question remains, is it really worth the effort? Well, the industry is giving a resounding yes. But the real question you need to ask yourself is, are you ready to build the AI infrastructure of the future? The demand is definitely there, the roadmap is clear, and the tools are waiting. Now it's just up to you to start building. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Thanks for watching.